Bring
scene ends.
Aegon,
Bring Aegon
the
to me.
usurper, to me.
Yep.
Very. And you got Lord Jasper.
See
Please
ya.
tell my wife. Head chopped off.
Yeah,
Clip.
Yeah, Damon was just waiting.
Imagine Damon just fucking slit fucking her throat right now and just took the throat for himself. Like could you?
Lady Aaron, give me asylum or I will burn you. Like
Yeah,
that's what
like,
Rhaena
I
should do.
will
And I don't know if any of these people are good people, but
Oh well, yeah. Well, no. She
maybe
like,
maybe that's just like some of the side effects of being an incest baby or something. I don't know. But he's just like whoever comes into the castle, he's just like, yeah, you can have it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just and he shouts, "Who else dares rises against us in our house?" And thoughts on no, love it, didn't sink. No, I don't think he did either. Dude.
Scott's going
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for episode 2 of the House of the Potatas podcast. We are back here after watching the latest episode that just came out yesterday. We're gonna take a nice dive in, but before we dive into all the the scenes of the episode, we are going to give our 3 words that we are going to use as Morocco just bangs in a goal. Do our 3 words, and then we're gonna give our ratings of the episode, and then we're gonna dive in. Sound good?
Cool.
Sounds good.
Let's go, boys. This
All right,
is gonna be a good one here.
Scott, you can start us off. Man, I was at the concert yesterday. Let us know 3 words.
First one I'm going to go with is brutal. Second word I'm going to go with is inevitable. And then third, of course, is going to be chickens.
Chickens.
Just Elena just wants some chickens out here.
She just wants some chickens.
You know, simple woman.
Simple woman.
Is good night, Sir Otto.
Yeah. For me, honestly, satisfying, preposterous, and potatoes. I mean, this episode just had a little bit of everything in it, and as much as I was shocked, I wasn't shocked, but I was shocked, but I wasn't shocked by the way it all just went down.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, since we did that, we'll go with our ratings. I'll start us off this time. We'll loop our way back around, a little serpentine action. For me, last episode, I gave an 8.9. This episode reached a 9. This episode was literally a 9.2. Like, this was a really phenomenal episode. Should have been the season finale probably, but I'm gonna give it a 9.2.
Yeah, I would say I would I would definitely give it a solid 9.5 in my opinion.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I think it literally would have that 0.5 is strictly because I agree with Bill. I really think it should have been the ending of the last season. It probably would have been one of the greatest seasons of television, at least for me in the recent years. It would have been really a fucking blast to see that just ending off like that.
Love it.
Boys, starting off hot here. We're going high with the scores.
Oh, yeah.
I give this episode a 9 flat. So we've all touched the 9s. I think that goes to show how good of an episode it was. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I thought this episode was terrific. It kind of felt like old school Game of Thrones, in the sense of like the tension that's building and the slow build. Like, I think that's when Game of Thrones was at its best. Obviously, like you have, the battles and stuff which are cool, but I think like the nitty gritty and the character moments and the politics is like what makes Game of Thrones great. And I think this episode really had that, along with some really cool visuals. I think this is one of the better episodes of the entire series. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Episode starts off right. Scene is set. And we see Jace. Poor
Set
Jace.
the stage. Set the stage. We're coming back from the Battle of the Gullet. We're dealing with the fallout.
Poor guy. Poor Jace, man. It's
our dead.
Rest in peace.
Another dead strong boy.
Scott, what'd you say? You said the Spider-Man scene. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean they pretty much brought in Jace like it was Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, bringing
just
to the train. Yeah, just carrying him out.
Dude, it was
fighting Doc Ock. I mean, it was I mean, fantastic scene. I mean, everything from finding him in the water, discovering him, all the way to Rhaenyra, unfortunately, just finding all that out and pounding on his chest, trying to make him answer, and he's obviously just fucking dead. So, I mean,
Shell
tragic.
shocked.
Great acting. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah, dude.
emotional.
Yeah, it was tough. I
Yeah.
guess the whole thing was tough.
That's that actually that's a it's a good start. That's the first book difference right off the bat.
Really?
Uh
Oh wow.
in the yeah, in the book, Jace's body's never found in the book.
Oh,
So you just kind
Really?
of
Mm.
he's just kind of let go. But I'm glad actually that they changed that because it made for an incredible scene
oh
with
yeah.
Rhaenyra, kind of her anger and her grief. It was, and also you see Bela too in that scene. How heartbroken she is was really tragic to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
especially when she said she was like the battle's been won, but it's like at what
At what
cost? Like you
cost?
see the
right.
reaction on her face. Like, I mean, like it doesn't feel like we fucking won. Certainly doesn't feel like that.
Kind of
Yeah.
playing on one of the major themes of the show, which is the cost of war, and also like I feel like a lot of the characters at this point are kind of like like what is this war really for? What are we actually fighting over? I mean, it's just a you know e- everyone's dying, and like for what? There's this, like, we use the word nihilism a lot last episode. I think that kind of rings true. It's very nihilistic, where it's just this is war. People die, and the deeper you get into, the more you kind of question, what are we even fighting for? You know?
To me, one of the most telling, not surprising considering what I said last episode, um, with Laurent, Sir Laurent, coming up to him, to her as she's fucking trying to wake up, basically, Jace, clipped dead, 6 feet deep, and the way that she reacts to him, like, how dare you touch me, like, of all people,
Mm.
and when she starts kind of breaking down and she's like talking about him, looks at Bela, to all of them, call them basically traitors, whether it's really the truth or not. And I think it almost poses a real question of like, is he a traitor basically at this point? I mean, like he basically went against the queen. Like, does that kind of really make him maybe not morally a traitor, but by the definition of what it is in those times back then. And even Bela too.
I,
I mean, Bela went along with it. But, some kings or queens might have had her. She could have been clipped because of that.
yeah, I think you really kind of see that though with Sir Laurent. Like he really like feels bad about
Oh
what
yeah,
happened, and it was like kind of like we were talking about last episode. Like he Jace kind of uses his oath against him, and he's like, I think Sir Lawrence not really sure. He's not really sure
yeah.
what to do, but
It's kind of like
I
Eric,
think I
the
think a lot.
twins.
I think he feels. I think he
Yeah,
he definitely feels responsible quite a bit, and I think that's why he kneels and he's like, kill
I
me,
forfeit my
like,
life.
I forfeit my life, like I failed you, my queen. And but you see like Rhaenyra, the actress Emma Darcy is just so great in that scene
Oh,
where
she's amazing.
I mean,
it's just
unbelievable.
all the emotions of just grief and anger and denial is just all coming out at once, and it's a heartbreaking scene, really. And I think but I don't think it's rocket science to know that Jace's death really that changes Rhaenyra going forward.
Oh, we see
Yeah,
it through
I
the
think in
episode
a big way.
as we will
Yeah.
get
yeah.
there. So the Reyna, she dips, as we see, after causing a bunch of chaos. And Lady Aaron, classic case of like, I ain't open my fucking door for you. Like, no way she wanted. She kind of, it was, I guess, and she does say kind of like, Rhaenyra's gonna be after me if I'm fucking housing you. Now Reyna
Yeah.
tries to plead with her, like, no, no one knows with me. And at this very moment, they know that somebody was on that dragon. They don't really know who yet, though,
What
besides
the fuck
her.
is going on over here?
Um, Scott's having technical difficulties.
Scott's having a this guy looks like you're at
About
like
to
an
get like
EDM
raided
now.
or having, yeah, exactly.
Scott's going on
Um,
a rave. I hate this scene.
they hate this
Hate it.
scene. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, hate this scene. This is my least favorite scene in the episode.
It's the only
And
scene
it's
with
like,
Raina.
it's fine, like, whatever. Yeah, well, Raina just bothers me, I think, in general,
Yeah,
but,
that's
Me too.
understandable.
just like she's like a scared little kid, which, yeah, I get that part, but,
She's like
like, dude,
14, right?
yeah, but dude, you have a dragon behind you. Like,
Yeah.
why are you negotiating from a position of weakness? Like, you have a dragon.
Yeah, like,
Like,
"You let me in or I
Yeah.
you
kill
could
you."
tell Lady Aaron, "Give me asylum or I will burn you." Like,
Yeah.
that's what
Like,
Rhaena
I
should do
will
in that
fuck you up.
situation.
Yeah,
Like, negotiations aren't supposed to be fair with dragon riders. Like, they
it's
just
true.
come in and they take it because they have the dragon. They literally have a nuclear bomb at their disposal.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rain is just be like, I just yeah, I just thought that that was weird. I didn't like that.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, earlier, obviously, we saw, Rhaenyra shipped off her kids to her to be, safe and sound, right? And she was supposed to get a dragon. She kind of used that as her bargaining chip there, kind of. Talk about this, the whole Valarian, like, into one little group scene right there, because it doesn't really
Got it.
matter. So, first, it's Alan is searching for Corlys on the boat, right? He's looking for
Yep.
him there. You have his brother in the sky on Sea Smoke trying to find him. After a while, he can't find him, at least at first.
Yep.
Alan's talking to Bela. I don't know if it was just me. Like, I thought that scene was very touching, as Bela was kind of going through, like, what Corlys was kind of like, and, maybe the reasoning why he kind of just tried to forget, as I think is what she says, about, have Corlys forget about him. They also got a little close, and for a second there, I was like, "Is there a possibility that these 2 end up together at some point?" Just an
No,
afterthought.
dude,
I know as weird as that
that's not
Oh
sounds,
my
not
I'm
god, you
what
just
motherfucker.
just
Dylan?
you know how those people are. You just throw it out there, never mind. But that's not the important thing here. It was just a little future side thing. But guys, so they have a little talk.
That's
Adam ends
so
up,
funny.
finding Corlys. He's up in the sky, he kind of spots him, and they get Corlys. So they're all together, the 4 of them, right? Bela, 2 brothers, Corlys, and they look over and they see Driftmark is fucking and basically just shitted on, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite quotes of the whole episode. Corlys looks at him and says, "Alan, I have nothing to give you now but my name." And his response is, "And yet I count that of more worth than a mountain of gold." That
Yeah,
just
No,
was
that was
amazing.
great.
that was an awesome
The
moment.
last thing I'll
Yeah.
add before we dissected was I found it interesting that, like, it was all kind of directed to Alan. He just kind of gave Adam like a little head nod, like that was it. Like, and I know Alan was really the one that, like, let's be honest, he really was what kept Corlys kind of alive up to that point. I mean, Adam did find him, but still, that was very interesting. So, what do you guys think about that whole? That was it. Kind of skipped a couple times. They went back and forth between them and, like, Damon and Rhaenyra
Yeah.
for a split second, but that whole little section right there. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that I agree that I really love that scene, and I think you see, it's like you kinda see, like, there that family bond, even though it's not the traditional, I guess, family, the 2 bastard sons of Corlys, and, you have these people that have grown up in very different circles and with different, in different social status. But I really liked how, I really liked the scene between the conversation between Bela and Alan, where Bela's really like she's really trying to like comfort him,
Yeah.
she's like trying to like be there for a family member and like sort of kind of they're kind of bonding over their shared experience of Corliss,
Mhm.
where Bela's like, yeah, he's very prideful, and and Alan's like, yeah, that's the side of him I know pretty
Yeah.
well. Is like, but there's still there's this love that Adam has for his father, even though there's a lot of baggage in that relationship and resentment
Definitely.
that he really does care for Corliss, and then still, like you said, um, when Corliss is like, the only thing I could offer you is my name, and Adam's like, well, that's worth more than a
Mountain
mountain
gold,
of gold. He is
gold
like
over
it.
water.
You could give like the I don't care about the riches. Like I just want to be your son, and that's a really like emotional, heartwarming kind of scene. In a very dark world of Westeros. So that was pretty cool.
Bouncing off to both of you, I mean, I really think that the out of all the scenes, it was that Alan quote that you said, Dill, to Corliss, and the way Corliss just gave that gentle little head nod to acknowledge him, and then
Good
the
game.
the Bela and Alan interaction was just great. I mean, she was just pretty much explaining like, hey, he was stern, but he was gentle, and he really did love their grandmother, and I think she was really just trying to have like a little heart to heart with him and just be like, listen, I know everything you've been through, like you said, Joey, was just a lot of baggage. He's still a good guy in the end, but it's back and
I don't know
forth
if I would go
with
that.
without
I don't know if
yeah,
I'd go that far, but there's some level of
not
humanity.
a good guy to Alan or Adam.
I don't know if any of these people are good people, but
Oh well, yeah, well none of them are really
but
good, honestly.
also just one last note is
Mhm.
when Adam goes to give Corliss his hand, like to help him get up. That was a cool little moment between them two. You see like Corliss kind of look at him like, and he like pauses, and then he takes his hand and gets up. Again, I think it just shows that there is this bond between father and sons, even though they didn't have the traditional upbringing. There's
Yeah,
this love there, and then I thought that was really heartwarming to see.
Awesome. Yeah, I really
no,
can't say
definitely.
much else to add on to that on stage. You guys, you two fine gentlemen, kind of took the words out of my mouth. So we shift over to Damon. He is celebrating with his men. They just had a nice
This scene
battle,
was fun. I love this
Oh
and
scene.
yeah,
they're
Little
celebrating.
Westerosi freestyle session going on in that.
pretty much.
That was
It was sick.
pretty funny. Yeah.
Wait,
No,
what?
they were
Just some
spitting.
nice some nice comic
Oh
relief.
yeah, yeah, the scene. Yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
that was a great.
yeah.
Well, it started off as a great scene.
But then
Um,
but then, as typical Game of Thrones fashion,
A serious fast.
Damon it boom, just like that, we're back to business.
Yep.
Damon gets the word that Jace is dead, and I like how, like, Damon right away goes back into war mode, where he's
Yeah.
just like, "Alright, like, Jace is dead, the queen has ordered to fly to Dragonstone to take the city," and he immediately, like, snaps, and he starts giving orders. And,
yep.
he's
What he
like, "Alright,
does.
we're back to business.
Yeah.
Celebration's over, we're back to business," you know?
And
So
then,
were all the allies too, which was like really cool to
oh
see.
yeah,
Yeah,
So like
they were ready to
the
roll.
Starks, like
Tully,
they were all
Starks,
like,
yeah,
yeah, fuck it, let's do
yeah,
it.
the
we're
old
back,
guys, the
ready to
gray
roll.
beards. So that happens. But then before that this scene ends, something very important happens. Something that is probably going to change the fate of the entire realm. Is Damon's talking this fucking witch, Alice Rivers,
Yes.
and she asked him for Harrenhal, of all things. We don't really know the reason
Wild.
why. We don't know the full reason why. We know, I think she mentioned maybe she's lived there her whole life or something, or at least in the Riverlands especially. But we know that she's some kind of a witch of something. She's got something going on, right?
Some
Yeah.
kind of
So
some kind of
all
magical connection.
something, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, some kind of something.
Some kind of fuckery's going on.
She asks for Harrenhal, and he laughs in her fucking face and says, "Are you fucking kidding me? You got no
As he should.
name. You're not
As he
married to
should.
a high lord. You got fucking Jack Diddley Squad." And
Yeah.
she
It's like, of
look at
course that
him like,
Damon's
"I
like,
just basically murdered a grandfather so that you could have an army, and you're gonna offer me fucking food, basically some gold food, whatever the hell it is what he offered."
Yeah, she used that
And
again.
he leaves. So she's
I
clearly not happy about
I
the
have
Harrenhal.
no idea what to make of Alice Rivers. I just
I can only,
She's
well, we're
she's
gonna
such a
get
dick
to
about
her
shit.
again.
I have no idea
We get to
what
Aemond.
I don't. what's her deal? I don't know. I have
She was
no
with the
idea.
fucking
I
dragon
don't
seeds
know the
too.
whole
Talking to
end
them.
result, but there's one thing I can say for sure is that she is going to befriend whoever can give her what she wants. And at this very
Yes.
moment, the person who can give her what she wanted had that opportunity and was squandered, and now somebody else is in Harrenhal. So we're gonna find out. We'll get into that as well
Yeah,
later
we'll
on.
get
But
into
go to Laris and Aegon. So Laris and Aegon are riding
Dude.
together, and Aegon is
back
giving
to these
Laris the
motherfuckers.
fucking silent treatment because he's a fucking child. And they're having their little dispute, right? And then out of nowhere, fucking battle erupts. What a fucking shot! Could have seen that fucking coming. They weren't gonna just simply go to Rhaenyra and get his head chopped off. That would be too
Yeah,
fucking easy,
we're
right?
They're
never
so
going
Now,
similar.
fun.
something that I found hysterical in that scene was when he opened the door, Laris, and he said that peacock Tywin Lannister has actually convinced the Triarchy to come into it against Rhaenyra. Doesn't seem to be going very well. I just thought that was funny. I hate Laris, but that was funny. I find that hysterical.
Yeah, he's got his
Aegon kills
moments.
somebody with a broken spear, takes his sword, and they go running off to fucking Rook's Rest against Laris's
Yes.
decision.
Yeah.
I forgot exactly where he said they should be going. I think he was saying more like the coast to get out of there. But Aegon says
Yeah.
we're going to Rook's Rest.
Wants to join the Bannermen.
Scott, what are your
Yeah, this
thoughts on
is
this whole? Or Joseph, you can go. What are your thoughts
yeah,
on this whole
this
battle little thing?
sorry. But
Are you
yeah,
good?
so this is interesting. So, you know, cuz this is a big deal for Rhaenyra, right? Because Aegon's on the loose. You know, she was under the impression obviously that, you know, when she eventually takes the city that, you know, Alicent was going to basically hand over Aegon and the war would pretty much be over cuz, you know, Aegon likely would have lost his head and
Oh, he 100% would have fucking lost
yeah,
his head.
you
There's
know,
no
so
way
that
his head
yeah,
was
that
staying
would
on
for
his body.
Sure.
No way. That'd have been
but now
public execution too. By the way, Ned Stark style.
Yes.
but now Aegon's kind of, you know, he's in survival mode, he's in desperation mode, and he's like, We're going to we're going to Rook's Rest, Laris. Fuck you and your plan. We're going to Rook's Rest because he's sent. You know, my army will be loyal to me. We just have to get there. Um. So yeah, so that'll be
True.
interesting to see. You know, kind of, you know, what happens there, and also because, you know, you also have Aemond in the mix who, you know, essentially tried to kill Aegon in the battle of Rook's Rest in season
Yep.
2. So, you know, there's some, you know, there's some fracturing in Team Green right now. There's a lot of moving pieces right now.
Yeah, definitely. And
Scott, what do
I
you
feel like
got?
too with it's kind of like the end of that scene where they decide to, you know, head towards Rook's Rest. I feel like it's pretty foreshadowed from Laris saying that it's going to be like a perilous journey to go in that direction instead of going to somewhere like the coast or something. But you know, Aegon brings the point like, what the hell are we going to do there on the coast? But Rook's Rest is going to be a perilous journey, and I think that's foreshadowed to be something that's most likely going to be perilous and going to be dangerous, and something will happen.
Yeah, I
Based
still
on what's
stand by
happening.
what I said. Still say I think, you know, I think we're getting, you know, the seeds of an Aegon comeback story. You know, I think, you know, there's a lot to there's a lot that has happened, but there's also a lot that hasn't happened at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot more to come.
When they were arguing, and fucking Aegon's pissed, and he's also still he's very young. Like I get it, he's young too, and he's inexperienced and over his head, and he's just also fucking stupid too. He's just an idiot.
Yeah.
When he's mad at him, and Larry's like, well, I mean, you could have just bent the knee and would have been on our merry way,
Yeah,
but
it's
you
very
decided to be a
funny.
fucking douche canoe,
Yeah.
and I saved your life because you would be without your head right now. Your head would be off your body on the ground. They may have been they
Yep.
might have pissed on your body afterwards too. Like you were not getting out alive. There was nothing you were gonna do. Jump to Allison now. Allison and her treason, depending on who you talk to. So Allison goes into a brothel, dicks out everywhere, and she goes and she speaks
Was
to
it a brothel or
Yeah.
was it just the
or
Gold Cloaks like locker room
I
basically?
think
yeah,
it was just
yeah, yeah. I
like
get their dicks were
yeah.
out. Yeah, that
Yeah,
wherever they were,
there's a lot of cocks out.
and a lot of
Yeah.
cocks were out.
A lot of dick floating.
And she goes to speak with Commander Largent, one of the something like that. He's the with Lord Commander of the City Watch. He's in charge of the Gold Cloaks, right? And she tells him that Rhaenyra is returning.
Yep.
She's trying to convince him to basically join their side and just let this fucking happen. Just let him come. Like basically, just come into my hole, Rhaenyra. That's basically what they want to happen. Just don't do anything stupid. And he kind of poses the question, asking like, "Is this treason?" And she basically is kind of saying to him like, it's kind of what you just want it to be, like very short
Yeah,
scene,
so
very
she's
quick
like, the
scene.
question
But
is, what are
Allison,
you gonna do about it?
yeah, what are you gonna do about it, right? Alicent is making moves fast. She's gotten Aemon out of there, and she's going for it.
Yeah, I think it was very interesting to see the interaction between Alson and that commander. Um, I think I mean, having control of the gold cloaks and being able to kind of control that specific part of I guess the city watch. I mean, obviously that's super important to have that control and to be able to talk to the commander and be like, do you think this is treason? And then being able to risk that and be like, ah, well, he could easily be like, yeah, I think it is treason, and yeah, you're under fucking arrest. Um,
Take a chance.
but also too, have like just having that conversation with him and then realizing like, hey, like they are on my side. Like that's huge, as we'll see later. That's all I really got to say about that scene. It was a really cool scene though.
Yeah, I think it's just furthering the plan and the agreement that Allison and Rhaenyra made, at the end of last season, which is entirely an invention of the show. That's not in the book. There's no mention of, in fact, and in fact, Allison does not like in the book. Allison does not just give the city to Rhaenyra. She does like the opposite.
Interesting.
So it's interesting how the show is chosen to kind of make Allison, um I don't know if the show they're kind of making Allison like a victim kind of character, even though it's kind of the reason why this war started is kind of because of her and her father.
Well, let me
Yeah.
you
ask you a
know
question as a book
so
reader. Ask you a question.
sure.
Do you think that the history books favored one side or the other? Because, like, I'll give an example. Like, in the show, Jace was kind of depicted as a fucking little bitch. In the book, it was seen as him being very heroic, right? Whereas in the show, it's the opposite with those two. Whereas the show is showing Allison as being very, like she's trying to help, and in the books, maybe as you're saying, she was kind of seen as the opposite, where she was kind of fighting to keep them out of there. So is there maybe kind of like the history books are kind of siding with one side of history? Does that make sense?
The way it's written is that it's written by three maesters, who have sort of differing interpretations. Some are more sympathetic to the greens or to the blacks, but I mean, in the book, I feel like in the book, Rhaenyra is not. She's not treat. I don't think she's treated too kindly in the book, but
Mm-hmm.
where the show is, I think, made her more of a.
A
Um,
favorite.
yeah, it's made her more of a central. Not I don't want to say central character, but she's a little. Yeah, she's a little bit more of a protagonist
Mhm.
in the show, I feel like, but,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't have to get too deep into the weeds on that. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, there are several differences between the book and the show, but, I think it is interesting how the show has chosen to, portray some of these characters like Allison, like I said before.
So we shift over to Damon. He comes back on Caraxes, and he sees Ulf and Hugh, and is just like, "What are you two doing here?"
It's like
And they
what the
kind of
fuck?
explain like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we waited for 2 days, and like he didn't show up." And he's like, "Well, you just waited 2 days, and just like that was it. That's all you did." Like, well, they start kind of going into it, and as I'm watching the scene, I was like, I feel like they're gonna bring up Alice, and he's gonna think a little bit differently about what's going on, and it's kind of exactly what happens actually. They start talking. before that happens, I love Damon slapping the shit out of Ulf. Ulf kind of needed that. And I feel for
So
Ulf a
much.
little bit, but Ulf needed somebody to just kind of put him in his place a little
Nah,
bit.
nah.
And you
Fuck
see
that.
I
it.
laughed
You
out loud when
see it
that
in the
happened.
next
That
scene
was
with
so
Ulf
funny.
when Damon is kind of like, "Can you guys basically not fuck this up?" And Ulf's just like, "Yep." It kind of like he kind of swallows his pride a little bit. Ulf kind of gets he gets a little more serious, which I do like that. So Ulf gets slapped, bitch
Straight
slapped,
up bitch
straight up bitch
slaps.
slapped, and then
Backhanded bitch.
Hugh brings up
So
now
fucking
doesn't
funny.
say Alice's name, but brings up, there was someone that warned us of a battle, might have been that might have been a witch, and then Damon kind of like almost like as if he realizes that he's talking about Alice, and almost like he's still frustrated with them, but almost as if like he stops like getting into their ass because he realizes that if Alice has something to do with it or something along those natures, it's like, all right, maybe I understand a little bit of why they did that. Kind of, they just dipped. Um, so that was a quick little scene before Damon sees Missaria and then into Rhaenyra. What were your thoughts on that little quick scene there with Damon Ulf and Hugh there when they were talking?
Go, Joe.
Yeah, no, I just very the bitch slap, like I said, I audibly laughed when I watched
Yeah,
that. That was
this
very
is
funny,
hysterical.
and you know what? You know what? Like you said, Dill, Ulf, I think you needed that, Ulf. All right, Ulf
Yeah.
needs to relax a little bit.
Needed a
He's,
wake up call.
he's a wild card, you know. But Damon makes an important point in that scene where he's like, "Wait, so you guys it took you guys waited just 2 days?" Like Damon's like, "I have men at Harrenhal. Like you just left Harrenhal undefended."
Mm-hmm.
Um, which obviously, as we're about to see
Yeah.
Yeah.
a few
Yep.
scenes later,
Big mistake.
is a big deal. Yeah, that is see, that hurts the blacks in that sense. But yeah, I think it just kind of shows the inexperience and sort of the just like the how the new the dragon seeds kind of they really kind of just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They
They're
literally
just
hopped on a
like
Yeah.
dragon like 2 days ago, and they're just fucking in a
yeah,
full-on war right
Yeah.
now.
I
exactly.
agree.
So
Scott,
yeah,
anything to add?
No, I mean, again, just to just keep saying it. That slap to Ulf was just fucking fantastic. I thought that was great. But no, he definitely needs a little like a bit of a wake up call. I feel like, Hugh is still kind of like remaining quiet. But Ulf is definitely the wild card, like you said, Joe. So I think he definitely needed that wake up call, just a little slap to be like, "What the fuck you doing?" Because obviously, as we're about to get into them missing from Harrenhal, uh, pretty costly mistake. But that's all I gotta say.
yeah.
Awesome. So Damon strolls up and he sees Missaria. They have a little reunion right there, a little love triangle we got going on here with those two and
Yeah.
Rhaenyra. Damon, it looks a little threatened by Missaria here, and kind of vice versa, as we see it a little bit more in the next scene with Missaria. We'll get to that. But they start kind of talking about Rhaenyra. They kind of start going at each other a little bit, and it's interesting how they go from barking at each other and kind of grilling each other, and then they just kind of sit down. They start having like a serious conversation, just like that. Where they're and then he's like, "How's Rhaenyra?" basically, and she's just like, she's all right. I mean, she's losing people left and right. They kind of have a serious conversation, and they bring up, can they really trust Allison? You know, and Damon is skeptical as he usually is, and it does kind of Misare kind of hint that she's almost is like she's a little jealous of
I think he's
Allison.
rightfully skeptical
Oh,
though.
100%. Yeah,
I
100%
think
she's
it's
Yeah, no,
skeptical.
definitely.
skeptical.
Yeah.
100%. So they
For
have that
sure.
quick little scene before Damon goes into Rhaenyra, who's sobbing like a baby, understandably so.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this little interaction with Damon and Missaria?
I think it's definitely very interesting interaction again, just to get back into that freaking love triangle again. But I think it was definitely interesting to see how Damon interacted with her, especially since like the Massaria and Rhaenyra's relationship is so like tight knit and close right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
he decided to just sit down and talk seriously to her, and I feel like I feel like it's good to have conversations like that, especially with someone like Massaria, who's very very close to Rhaenyra, to actually feel and kind of hear how everything's been going and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think their dynamic's very interesting because it's almost like the way that they play it, um, is like they have this sort of they have this, like, banter that's sort of like, it's like they don't like each other, but they like each other, I think, deep
Yeah,
down,
it's a
kind
love
of,
hate
like, I think
relationship.
there's an understanding with the way that they communicate with each other,
Could be a three-way.
but I think it's also interesting, like, what do you guys think, like, I like, what is Myssaria's, like, end game? Like, what's her motive? Is she just vying for power, or does she genuinely have, like, this connection with Rhaenyra? I think it's probably a little bit of both,
Yeah,
but,
I would think
she's a
so.
she's a very mysterious character to me, Mysaria.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I would think so too. I mean, I think that, I think deep down she does really care about the queen. Um, but also too, like it can go either way because she's still very mysterious. We haven't seen enough of her. We I think I definitely want more of her. Um, especially since I forget if it was the end of the scene or in the future scene where she was bringing up like I think it was as they were leaving.
I was just
It's like
yeah, I know what you're
yeah,
gonna
you're not
say.
gonna forget about me or something like that.
Well,
Which
that's what I was just gonna bring up because,
yeah,
she says it's like, remember who's been loyal or something along those lines.
exactly.
Yep,
And then
we're gonna
Rhaenyra
get to
walks
that.
away.
That
She
is
definitely
a
want she yeah, she wants influence, Mysaria,
Yes,
you know?
I think that's a good way to put it.
She's just very mysterious and
Yeah,
kind of, I can't really get a read on her.
yeah. Me neither. Not yet.
so they are talking, and then they find out that Vagar he is left King's Landing, and he is now heading for Harrenhal, the Riverlands. So Damon goes into Rhaenyra and kind of gives her this pep talk, honestly. And I like that. My honestly favorite part of this wasn't even just the fact that he was bringing up that Song of Ice and Fire and what he saw. It
I
was the
loved it
fact that
so
he was
much.
speaking in Valyrian. I don't know what it was, but just like him speaking in Valyrian really just kind of made it hit so much harder. So he's basically seeing her. She's in shambles. He mentions Sheep Stealer. They don't really know who. She mentions Sheep Stealer to um Damon, and he's like, "How could the Greens have another rider?" So they don't know who this mysterious rider is.
Yep.
She's defeated. She's in shambles right now, and Damon really picks her up. He really picks her up here, which is not like him. He's a fighter. He's not somebody who's really great with words. And him telling that little story about what he saw and his little vision, or whatever the hell you want to call that, was really sick. And he kind of tells her like, if this is real, like you got to get off your ass and we got to go take this throne. We have to go do this. And she decides to do it. She gets up, and they obviously start like, they start their walk on over to the small council, which we'll get to that point. But what are your guys' thoughts on this scene? Very, very emotional, very powerful scene between Damon and Rhaenyra.
I think there really is a real love between Rhaenyra and Daemon in this sort of kind of weird, obviously incestuous but, like no, but that's not
It's
how I mean it, though.
yeah, it's
I
true though. It's
I
not
There's
fucked
no
up.
I
skipping around
mean
it
it
though. Yeah, it's
I mean it in, like, there is, like, sort of an emotional connection with
yeah,
them,
of
and I
course.
think also Damon, like I said before, like, Damon is changed by that vision,
Oh
where
Yes.
yes.
he is no longer concerned about ruling himself, where he's like, "Everything I do now is" like, he sees Rhaenyra on the throne in that vision, so he's like, "I need to get her on the throne by whatever means necessary." And the show's really leaning into the prophecy
Yep.
of A Song of Ice and Fire, and I think that, like, that plays a big role in sort of Rhaenyra's progression as a character and how, she kinda proceeds with the war. I think she has it's almost like she has this, like, uh she feels a sense of, like remember learning at school, like, divine right? Like, in
Mhm.
like, how
Yeah.
the kings in
Yep.
the
Thought
Middle
that
Ages,
God
like,
gave them the
believed
right to
that,
rule,
like,
yeah.
God gave the right to rule. I feel like it kinda has that element to it where Rhaenyra feels like there's a bigger purpose, and she like has to, you know, she has to, get the throne. And I think that helps, that shapes her as a character, along with obviously, the death of her sons. But I think that there's a lot of factors that kind of shape Rhaenyra into who she becomes as a character going forward.
Definitely.
Scotty, anything to add?
Yeah. No, I mean, again, like I feel like that the main takeaway for me from that scene is that Damon came in like fucking Herb Brooks in fucking Miracle. He just gave that fucking Song
Yeah,
of
they gave a
Ice and
great
Fire
speech.
speech, and he just fucking got her fired the fuck up, and
Are
he
you gonna let
turned
him die
her
in vain?
exactly like that.
Right?
Like just everything he said from that point all the way to the Song of Ice and Fire. Like she just got fired up and turned that grief into passion, and she just got the fuck up and just focused up, ready to go. So I
Carrying
love that
Jay
entire scene.
Yeah, carrying Jace's sword too.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that actually. I did not catch that. That's a good
yeah,
shout.
Jace's sword.
yep.
Um, yeah, and
Believe.
I kind of like I've touched upon like my thoughts as I was kind of mentioning the scene before. Very powerful scene. Loved it. Let's move on now to a potential rape situation. Jasper Wild. This motherfucker, dude. This never liked this guy. He discovers Allison's little scheme via, I believe, his name. Let's see, Richard Thorne, right? The Sworn Protector, kind of gives up Allison. He finds out. He goes into I forgot what room
Finds out
she's
that
in.
she went
It
to go meet with the Gold
Yes,
Cloaks.
Yeah,
exactly.
there was
Yeah.
that whole scene on
And
the stairs and stuff.
he tries to rape Alicent. Does
That's
not
fucked
go
up.
very well, and is
Yeah.
caught by Master Orwell and some of the knights there, and they take in Jasper. And that little scene right there with Orwell and Allison, where he's like, "Listen, I don't know what you're planning, but you better
Yeah.
get this done now because you don't got much time." Now, two questions here. One is your thoughts on it. The other question I want to throw out there is, what did you think he was trying to do at first? Did you think he was just trying to kill her? Like kidnap her, maybe? One of those? Or did you think he was really trying to actually like literally rape her? Because at
I
first
think it's
I thought he
pretty.
was gonna try and kill her. It was my initial thought. And then as he got closer, then definitely he was like, "Oh, say that again." Then I was like, "Okay, he does this horny fuck
Yeah,
just wants to get some fucking puss
Yeah,
right
I
now."
think he
the
probably
That's
guy's
tried
really
a
what
to
he's
scum.
looking
rape
for
her.
right
Yeah,
now.
this
Yeah, I think he's just
guy's a
being a complete
So what are your
complete
scumbag.
thoughts?
scumbag. He's
Scumbag.
just
Okay.
trying to
So
rape.
what are your thoughts
Yeah.
on this scene? The whole it was it's a very important scene that could have turned that little whole tide right there too of Allison's little plan there. And Orwell coming clutch. The guy went from head almost chopped off to this to almost head chopped off again by Damon later on, but we'll get there. But thoughts on this?
A bit.
No, I feel like it was definitely a pretty crazy scene. I definitely didn't expect that. Like when he opened the door, I thought it was gonna be more of like a talking confrontation and just kind of like just tossing out threats and stuff. But then the second he started getting really rapey, I was definitely fucking surprised. But I was like, I definitely think he tried to attack and rape her. I don't think he tried to kill her in any way. I don't think that was really in his cards. But I think I saw someone on Reddit talk about how like this goes to show that like the kind of like the maester's role within like a castle or which just like within like a um just like a house. I feel like just like a maester is just there to, serve the current queen, king, everyone in their family. And I think that goes to show that the maester made that choice because of that. Um but
Yeah, I
yeah,
think.
crazy scene.
Yeah, I think
Personally.
Orwell's pretty honorable
Yeah, no,
guy. I
definitely.
Yeah.
think he was like, this is wrong, and arrest this guy.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I felt like that scene was unnecessary. I don't. I thought it was kind of
Yeah, it didn't really do
exposition.
anything.
I really think we needed to see that.
Well,
I think it was really just a plot device for
him to get
what's the
Otto.
guy's name? Jasper?
Jasper,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jasper.
Or
Yep.
I think it was just a plot device to get him arrested and eventually beheaded at the end of at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really feel like I don't think that scene really served any purpose. I thought it was just kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no.
I mean, I don't like Allison, but I don't want to see. I'm firmly
No.
we're anti-rape
Yeah,
podcast.
it's an
Oh, for
anti-rape
sure.
podcast, 100%.
Yes.
Not even
I'm happy.
no
I'm happy
jokes.
Very
Allison
much
did
anti-rape.
not get sexually
Yes, we
assaulted.
don't want that.
But yeah,
Poor
that
guy.
fuck that Jasper guy.
Fuck
He's
Jasper.
Yeah.
Never liked
Fuck
that
him.
fucking
he's a
dumb
sleaze
twat.
bag.
Then we
Yeah.
move to Rhaenyra. So, Rhaenyra makes her decision after talking to Daemon, her Brooke style. They go to their small council and they basically say, "We're going to King's Landing." Now, these two motherfuckers, Lord Bottomus and I forgot the Grand Maester's name, but the Grand Maester, are just trying to persuade them not to, like it's a trap. And even Daemon kind of just puts them into place too. Like, did you not just hear what the Queen just said? Like, she has spoken. Like, this isn't a conversation. This is what's happening here, right? So they walk away from them, and I loved how on her way out, she's just like, "You can let Sir Laurent decide how he wants to die. We'll see how
Yep.
if they even
Savage.
show that." Then the last little thing is Ulf and Hugh join them, and Damon kind of like we touched a little bit on earlier, kind of puts them in their place, giving them the kind of the whole plan. Like, you're gonna stay with us. You're gonna do as you're told. You're not
Yeah.
gonna deviate from
He
the
was like,
plan.
"Don't
This
get any
plan is very
ideas."
important.
Yeah.
We kind of see here. Here's like the beginning of it, not towards the end. We get the full, but the grief is for the interim turning into determination. She is now determined to get what she wants and what she deserves, even after
Yeah.
what just transpired here.
I mean, that shouldn't be
And you
passion.
see that it's inspired by Damon's loyalty and the prophecy really that he was basically stating. And the last little thing here that I loved was just the 4 dragons flying over the sea, like that little shot
Oh,
that they
that was
had.
so
That was
sick.
so sick. And I'm like,
That
you
was
know, she's
awesome.
about
That
to
was
Japan. I was a little
that
surprised
was
that
one
it's
of my
like
favorite shots as
just these
well.
Yep.
4 dragons are just gonna pull up and just that's gonna be that, but it is what it is. You brought up earlier, Joseph, when Missaria is trying to persuade her in here, kind of like, "Hey, you remember me?" Like, and I didn't like that from Missaria because Missaria she's in the circle of trust with Rhaenyra right now, which not a lot of people are. She is very trustworthy in Rhaenyra's eyes, and I just thought like I think all Missaria had to do was just give her the crown and just say good luck. That's it. That's all she had to do.
Yeah.
He had to, hey, remember who has helped you and been there for you, and then she kind
Yeah.
of just
She's doing
walks
too much.
away. Just saw her child get clipped. Damon's kind of laughing at it, like kind of like smirking at it, and as they're walking out, they start kind of arguing about it. She's like, Damon's like, "How could you have this woman, on your council?" And Rhaenyra's like, "Well, she's been loyal to me, blah blah blah," and they kind of squash it. So, Joseph, thoughts on this whole Daemon, Rhaenyra, small council, Ulf, Hugh, Masari, this whole little big thing right here?
I don't think Damon's really mad about Sorry Beyond the Count. I think he's just a little surprised by it. But I think that uh yeah, I think like we mentioned earlier, I think Masari is a little snakish. I think she definitely wants influence in
Yes.
some way.
She wants
I
that
think it's a great way to put
Rhaenyra,
it.
that Rhaenyra.
Well, there's that too.
She wants the
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the primary motivation. I
No,
I
it's
think
not.
Massaria
It's not. But
is,
she wants power.
she's
Yeah.
a
I
lo
think
She
she's a
knows
influence,
she
lowborn
influence
know
is
what
a
it's
great way to
like.
put it.
Yeah, she was slave, lowborn. She had power,
she's a
right?
lowborn character. I
She
think she's
wants
just
it.
trying to, she's just trying to, snake it till you make it,
Yeah.
which,
Snake it
I
till you
kind of
make it,
respect that,
baby.
but I just like I said, I can't get a read on her. I don't know.
Yeah. Very mysterious at this point. Very, very mysterious.
So,
Um.
anybody have any thoughts? And we kind of both just talking about it again. It wasn't a crazy scene, but any thoughts on this?
Yeah. I wanted to talk just like the very start of that scene where Rhaenyra is just looking to the fire and like the only light in her face is literally just the fire, the flames hitting her. Like it was such like a fucking like sick moment where she just looked like a fucking boss. Like she looked like
Like
the
a
fucking
boss.
queen right there.
You're ready to roll,
Yeah, ready to fucking roll. But I don't know.
and
I
Damon
think it
right there
was
with her.
yeah, Damon right there with her. It was a great scene to kind of show that like the queen's fucking coming, and Damon's coming with her, along with the 4 dragons. But
All right, so we got 2 more for you guys. I'll cut this part out, but we have Alan and Helena left. We have a little quick, very, very quick Cole and Gwen scene. Like, remember, it was like a 30-second scene. Aemon attacking Harrenhal. Then we have the actual whole little King's Landing battle thing that goes on with Daemon, Rhaenyra, and the guards. Alicent and Helena being caught, kind of like you kind of foreshadowed very quickly in a small scene, dungeon scene, then the last scene with the beheading. So that's where we are right now. So Alicent and Helena. So Alicent goes to Helena and is basically, we're getting the fuck out of here. We are dipping, we are done. And Helena's kind of confused. And again, don't have the verbiage, but Allison is like trying to do right by her, like as she kind of sees it, her last child that she has, that she can really like help. I know there's Daron too, but like Aegon's a lost cause at this point. Aemon's becoming now a lost cause, or already is a lost cause in her eyes in terms of like bringing them back to the light. She thinks I could get Helena and myself, get us out of here, get her to safety. And they go to I think Frederick, or I guess his name is, or something like that. They go to that guy who's on the top of the tower, right? And they're by like the
Yeah,
big
they're
crossbows, and
telling them to
they
stand down.
yeah, trying to get them to stand down. And Allison is kind of like to Helena, like on the way. They're like, "Hey, listen, you're the queen. Like they're gonna listen to you." Kind of
Yeah.
fights back a little bit, but then Helena kind of steps in and she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't want anybody to die." It's just like
Yeah. I
awkward
don't want any
laughing.
beast to be harmed.
She
Like
said, "I don't want any
I don't want the
beast
beast to be
harmed."
harmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any beast. And she like starts laughing. Like it's the whole little just
Yeah, she
very
starts
awkward.
laughing,
She's
looks
not
at
used to this,
looks at
obviously.
Allison.
She's a big
So
animal lover.
big
Yeah,
animal
she
lover.
Just loves
Loves
creatures.
chickens.
Loves chickens,
Helen,
dragons. She doesn't want anyone to be harmed.
Allison continuing this plan, right? She is just making moves, and she's not. This is all Allison right now. She's just by herself, going here, talking to these people, going here. Like she's not like she went from like having people do her dirty work to she's doing the dirty work. Like she's making the moves on the chessboard happen right now.
Yeah, so I think it was definitely, it was to be expected that Helena would be confused. She was just doing her own thing, and then Allison's like, "Yeah, we're getting out of here." She's like, "What?" And after further explanation and stuff, Helena talking about her nice little chickens that she wants to have, stuff like that. My favorite part.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have too much to add. Helene is such a weirdo.
Yeah, Helena's Helena.
Was it the scene with the
Yeah,
chickens?
but
Was it
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scene with the
no,
chickens? Yeah.
well, even
yeah,
just
yeah,
her like on the, when she's like, "I don't want any beasts to be harmed." She's just like so awkward. I feel like.
yeah. And then she
Maybe
like
those maybe
smiles.
that's the that's pro maybe that's just like, some of the side effects of being an incest baby or something. I don't
Ugh,
know. But
yeah,
let's get to the meat and
Cole and
potatoes
yeah.
here.
Gwen are in the Riverlands. They see Vagar
Amy
flying on
flying
over.
over with
They
the
rush to Harrenhal. We get to the one of the last couple scenes here of the as we're like getting down to the nitty gritty here. Aemon attacks Harrenhal here. So Aemon comes in and just by himself just starts fucking shit up. I mean, burning people alive. He jumps down. He finds Simon Strong and he asks for Daemon, who is not there. Simon Strong tries to kind of reason with them. Clipped. He gets clipped. Aemon takes his
Yeah,
sword and then kills
brutal.
one of his sons. And then one of them stabs him in the back. And the side there. And Aemon
Yep.
still clips him, but then Alice comes out. Aemon is leaking with blood. Absolutely
Oh yeah,
leaking.
dripping
And he
everywhere.
falls to the ground and he's begging for help now. And Alice is just kind of looking at him. So now this is kind of where we'll get very crucial part. If we think Alice is a witch, which is probably everyone else's assumption, she's probably gonna heal him or bring him back to life if he's actually dead at this point. Like when he falls down, I don't think he's just dead, but you never know.
Yeah, it's heavily
I
foreshadowed.
think that she thinks if I save him, I can get Harrenhal. That's what I don't know why she wants Harrenhal. I don't understand what the reason for that would be. It was a cool scene with Vagar, fucking shit up. We don't like Aemon, but it was still a great scene. He killed a couple people. It was a good. It was very Daemoness like of him to just go in there by himself, not wait for the army, and just take fucking Harrenhal by himself. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued to see
Well,
what happens to Alice. Joseph, thoughts on this scene here in Harrenhal?
yeah, well, first off, as much as I hate Aemond, this was actually my favorite, like one of my favorite like moments of the episode. He comes in like a like a boss, kind
Oh
of.
yeah,
Him like a
He
wrecking
hot
ball.
he goes in on Vagar's fucking shit up, and then he comes off and he just mows these guys down
yeah, it's sick.
with the sword. It was pretty sick. I can't lie. But Dill, you mentioned you said that it was kind of Damon-esque in some ways, but I think actually it's a lot different though when Damon takes Harrenhal, right? Like Damon, well, Simon Strong is just like he's so funny. He's just like whoever comes into the castle, he's just like, yeah, you could have it.
Yeah, you
He's
can have
like,
yeah, exactly. It's just like, take it.
he's
I
just
don't need it.
Like, I haven't
like
carried a sword in years.
yeah, he's like, yeah, like whatever. I'm not here to fight. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like it's yours. Take it. Like I can't
I mean,
defend
why?
myself.
How could he? Like, what
But
could he even do? Yeah,
When Damon comes in season 2 though, like Damon is he doesn't, he sits down and eats with them and
yeah.
he obviously does and he doesn't, he's acting like Damon because Damon's going to be Damon, but like Aemon just kills them all.
'Cause
So
Damon has
Yeah,
so
somewhat of a
like
brain. Damon
yeah.
sees the Damon has Damon's not just like brute strength like fighting. Like he actually thinks about things. He
Aemon
killed the Lady
yeah.
of the Vale so he could go and try to marry, Rhaenyra and like the deuce. Like
yeah,
he can think it Aemon is just out for fucking blood, bro. Just
yeah.
wants blood.
Having
Yeah,
Vagar's
Aemon
going to his head.
he's just
He's just
bloodthirsty. Boy, he's just a bloodthirsty boy
yeah,
who feels powerful. A kid who did, he was a kid who was powerless, and then he gets Vagar, and now he feels powerful.
yep.
But really, he's just this little boy at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely setting up. We got last season we got Damon at Harrenhal, and now this season it looks like we're getting Aemon at Harrenhal, and it'll be interesting to see his dynamic with Alice Rivers going forward.
No,
Scott,
definitely.
anything to
I mean,
add?
yeah, I mean, I don't got too much to add. I mean, you guys pretty much just hit the nail on the head there. I mean, it was such a cool scene to just see just Aemon just flying in on Vagar and just lighting everybody up and burning everyone in fire.
So they land, right? Two quotes from this. They land, and when Rhaenyra starts walking up, she says, "Don't be afraid. I've come to make things right." Just like hit, I'm back. I'm home. I'm the rightful fucking queen, and I'm back.
Yep,
I'm gonna
I was
take this
home.
shit back, right? So then Damon comes in, right? Kills these people, and then he takes off his helmet, and he shouts, "Who else dares rises against us in our house?" And like, dude, this is our fucking house. How fucking dare anybody attack us and take our fucking home, right?
Fuck yeah.
They make it through and they fucking reach Sir Rickon, and he's standing there and they're outnumbered. They're outnumbered. And Damon looks a little concerned at first. Looks a little concerned, and Rhaenyra takes out her sword, kind of get a little laughed at, and then in come the gold cloaks. Gold cloaks fucking come in, and it's like, well, whose side are they on? And they remembered their fucking rightful commander, Daemon fucking Targaryen.
Yep.
They back Daemon. They take fucking Sir Rickon's ass. They fucking take him out of there, and the throne is fucking Rhaenyra's. Thoughts on this whole scene? The last thing to add is they tell her she can go sit on the throne. And what does she say? She's like, I'm not done yet. I want fucking Aegon's head. Like,
Yep.
bring
Bring
me
the
Aegon.
usurper.
Scene
Bring
ends.
Aegon,
Bring Aegon
the
to me.
usurper,
Yep.
to me.
It's
Yep.
very,
That's
very
right.
powerful scene. The
Bring
whole
that
scene. What are
motherfucker.
your guys? Scott, you can start us off here. Thoughts on this whole little? I guess it's a battle scene. It's like not really a battle scene, but just this
Yes,
whole
them
thing
just
that would
getting
just
there, going in.
transpire to them going through the Red Keep, the two
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. I mean, I think it was awesome. I mean, just the soldiers just putting all the arrows up, putting all those giant bows up, and just letting them come in. So I think that that quote that Rhaenyra said when she first got there, "Don't be afraid. I've come to make things right." I mean, I think there's really no better way to put it. I mean, at least from someone coming in and like invading, that kind of like I guess list them around a tiny bit for the soldiers that are laying down their arms and stuff. But then this scene with Damon just slaying those guys. I mean that choreography was fucking sick. That was so fucking cool. Um, And then again, like you said, that fucking quote, "Who else dares rise against us in our house?" Like fucking
So good, dude.
savage, so
It's so
fucking
good.
savage. Exactly
The
why I love
fucking
Damon.
he's the
Oh yeah,
fucking boy.
oh yeah. And then when they get into the throne room, and then um, Rickon comes
Yeah.
in, and
Or Ricard.
he's
It's one of
just
those two. Rickon or Ricard. I think it's
yeah,
Ricard,
I
maybe.
forget
Yeah, it doesn't
which one
matter.
it is. But yeah, anyways, they come in and they're surrounding him, and then the gold clothes come in, and I'm just like, oh shit! I was like, they're fucked. Like, what's the fuck's about to happen right now? And then obviously, Corey Luther remembers Damon, obviously, and then he just comes to his allegiance. That's that, and it's such a fucking awesome scene to really feel like we're there. Like we won. Like what else is there to do besides sit on the throne? Then the whole scene with Rhaenyra saying, "Bring the usurper," like that is just fucking awesome. Queen Rhaenyra energy.
Joseph.
Yeah, I well said, Scott. I love everything about this whole lead up to them getting to the throne room. I really love um how as Damon and Rhaenyra are moving through the castle, through the Red Keep, like they're moving. It's almost like they're moving as one. Like
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the way that it's shot, like Damon is just like Rhaenyra is the queen and like Damon is her iron fist.
yep,
It's like Damon's mowing these people down, or Rhaenyra's just kind of walking behind them, like, but they're moving as one unit. And that was just really fucking cool, and just like the
yeah,
look in Rhaenyra's eyes as she's just moving through the Red Keep. She's like, yeah, it's like this is my moment, but like she's also, she's like also nervous to take the moment,
yeah,
as we sort of kind of see when she gets to the throne room.
yep.
And but obviously, as I mentioned before, Aegon not being there is a big problem, right?
Oh,
So
huge problem. Yeah,
because his claim is still, as long as he's
Alive.
as long as him and Aemond really, well,
More
even
Aegon, but yes.
And also you can't forget about Darren too, who's
Yeah.
with Ormond right now.
yeah,
But basically, anybody who has a claim that is left alive is a danger, right? So Rhaenyra may, be about to take the throne, but the war is far from over. But I love the whole thing with the City Watch, where yeah, it kind of reminded me of the scene in season 1 of Game of Thrones when Ned Stark gets betrayed in
Mm-hmm.
the
yes,
throne
Yeah.
room. But it kinda obviously it plays out different. But yeah, because it does it gets dicey, in there. But it's also funny how, the Greens, like, they're like, "Oh, we got you." Like, the whoever that Queen's Guard,
yep.
or the King's Guard was, I mean, I don't know his name, but he's
I
like
think it was Sir Rickard.
Sir Rickard?
No,
Okay.
so Sir Rickard was
Yeah,
the
but he's
was
like
is the guy that was against uh Rhaenyra and Daemon. You talking about Sir Luther? Is that you're talking about the guy on the City Watch?
no, I'm talking about the King's Guard in the throne room on the Greens.
Oh, yeah, yes. I thought you were talking about those. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah. He's thinking like, "Yeah, we got you, like, you're
yeah.
fucked."
You're right.
And
Yeah,
then
sorry.
and then the City Watch and then you see the look in his eyes
Oh yeah.
Just
when the City
flips.
Watch is like, "We're loyal to our commander,
Yep,
Damon." And
Like
he's
dude,
like,
a
"Oh,
sigh.
fuck, we're dead." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." That was awesome. Yeah,
yep,
that was a great everything about that was great.
So right after this, Rhaenyra, she wants Aegon's head. They go looking for Aegon in his room, and there's, Grand Maester Orwyle. Again, poor guy almost gets fucking clipped again. Poor guy just, trying to just do his thing.
he's just trying to do his
And
best.
Damon's trying to find Aegon, can't find him, and he says, "Well, I can do at least something else for you." And he points him in the direction of Lord Jasper. So then he goes to the dungeon, right? Before he goes to the dungeon, the scene right in between this, they do a quick shot of Allison and Helena running through the city trying to escape, and they can't escape. And there are two girls. I don't know if you noticed it. Two girls kind of look at them like, I know who those people are. And
Yeah.
obviously, as we see later on, Allison and Helena get caught. I don't know if they may. I think they may show that scene the beginning of season of the next episode. think in the next episode they may show like Allison and Helena trying to escape and like they get caught. I could see that happening,
That
but
makes
whatever.
sense.
So
I
that
don't think
scene
so. I think
ends.
it's just
It may be not. I don't know. It's a thought. But either way, they show that really quick scene. Then they skip back to the dungeons, right? And Damon's trying to talk to Lord Jasper, and Lord Jasper doesn't really honestly know that much. There is a dungeon keeper, whatever his role is there. And he explains to Damon that Lord Laris has left you a gift. And he starts going down the little tunnel thing with
Yep.
the fire. He's got, what the hell they call it? The fire thing? The
Little
torch. He's got a little torch,
whatever.
Indiana
torch.
Jones
Yeah.
style. Watching with Sarah, and she's like, I think Damon get clipped right now. Is he gonna die? Get like killed? Like I thought about it. I was like, maybe, you never know. And he sees somebody in a cell. I knew right away it was Otto.
I knew
His
it was
laugh,
Otto.
It
dude.
just
His
starts
laugh
laughing.
was
Just starts
fucking
laughing.
hysterical. And you just know it's Otto. You know it's Otto.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Any thoughts on this before we see Otto getting his bitch ass dragged out in front of Rhaenyra? Anything? Any of these
I have
little
a
court scenes?
question.
Yes. What you got?
I have a I'm a little because I don't really know. Like, why do you think Laris would do that? Like, why do you think Laris
I
would
was
offer up
thinking that too.
Otto? Because I don't necessarily see why he would do that. You know, I mean, Laris is obviously a snake. He's a very little. He's a very little finger
Well, let's think
like
about it.
character.
I can answer you
But
a question with a
I,
question.
I'm just curious as to why Laris would would have had Otto arrested.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
and
think
kind
about
of
this. Ready?
prepared.
What do you think Laris wants? Let's start there. What do you think Laris really truly wants?
I think he wants influence.
He wants influence, power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what did he? I mean, he kind of weaseled his way with Allison, right? And then with Aegon, and he ended up having a seat at the table, right, at the council as a master of whispers. Then obviously Aegon gets clipped, and he knew that he couldn't compete with Aemond. I don't know because the last we heard of Otto was he got summoned by Aemond, right? When Aemond took control
Yes.
as Prince Regent, he summoned Otto to come back to be the Hand, right? I don't know if that was his way. I
Yeah,
mean, at that point, I don't know why he would just kill him himself
you're
by
right,
keep him
and that's
alive and
when.
give him to Daemon.
Yeah, okay.
I can see maybe he thinks Otto's a threat, and he kind of knows that Daemon and Rhaenyra are gonna come at some point, and maybe he thought that that would give him good graces in the future. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
just
see it, but I do see what you're
Yeah,
saying. It is a great
I
question.
don't know.
I'm
yeah,
trying to decipher with maybe what do we know about Laris and what he wants, but it doesn't really give us any more information, honestly.
Be one
yeah,
hell of a
like
guess.
yeah, it's like is he trying to like gain not favor, but like trying to gain some mercy from Rhaenyra? I don't,
Yeah, just like
but
some sort of
I don't
protection.
see
Like I
how.
don't.
Like I don't see how if like I just don't see how that would work out. Like I think if Damon or Rhaenyra got their hands on Larry Strong, they would kill him. So I'm just curious. I don't know. That was
Hmm.
just a question
That's a
that I
great
had that
question.
I'm
No,
Similar
it's a
thing.
really good question.
Question: what did you think he was walking towards at first? Did you think it was Otto at first before
I knew it was Otto.
before you
Yeah.
even got to the cell? Like once I saw the cell, I knew for sure it was Otto. But when he's first walking down, like when he first gets told that there's a gift left for him, like what did you think that was Otto right away?
I said when I was watching it by myself, I
Hmm.
said that's got to be Otto. Is
Okay,
right off the bat, I knew
gotcha. Okay,
I thought it was
Scott.
Otto. Yeah.
Yeah, I low key thought that they were just gonna fucking lock him in or something, just close the door. I have no fucking
Interesting.
idea. I honestly, I didn't know it was going to be Otto. Even when he was laughing, I was still, I might have just been fucking stupid. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know who it really was at first. I was very surprised when Otto came walking into the throne room, but we'll obviously get into that.
So
Um,
last scene, boys.
Yeah, let's get into
We get to the
yeah,
throne
wrap up
room.
here.
hell yeah. Here we
Rhaenyra is
go.
in the throne room. She's greeting people, shaking hands. She's doing her thing. She's reaffirming herself as the rightful ruler in her home where she was born, raised, her rightful seat. And in comes Otto freaking Hightower with Daemon, along with Lord Jasper.
Otto Octavius.
Otto is brought before. Otto is brought before
No,
Rhaenyra.
that's not Otto Octavius.
No,
Uh,
I know. I'm just,
he was the lizard in Spider-Man in Amazing
yeah, no,
Spider-Man.
I'm just fucking.
Um, so Otto is brought before Rhaenyra, and Daemon is kind of, you know, Otto was kind of not like taking shots at Rhaenyra, but like like how what would Viserys be saying if he was here right now? Daemon is starting to kind of get in Rhaenyra's ear, like, you need to chop his fucking head off. You need to kill him and end this now. I'm not saying he was wrong to do this because I think he's what he like two things could be right and wrong about this. He could be right that her chopping off his head shows that she's powerful. She is the rightful ruler. If you commit treason, this is what happens to you, which is what should happen. She's not being cruel by doing that. Like, is what she doing really cruel in the grand scheme of things compared to what he did? No, not at all. He deserved it, right? She did not look like she wanted to do it, and you kind of it
Oh,
almost looked like to me Viserys was like speaking to her, like telling her, like, no, like, yes, he belongs in prison for the rest of his life. You don't need to kill him. Like, you don't need to do this. And not only does she decide that he needs to get his head chopped off, but she pulls out her sword. And he does not like this. He asks her, hey, could just let Damon do it. I can at least have a clean death. It's
yeah,
literally, he just wants to just die in peace. He's like, get it over with.
he wants it quick.
She walks over and he kneels his head. And this is after I explain this, I have a question about this, but
Hmm?
she chops his fucking head off.
Oh, yeah.
And misses kind of first, but
It
this
hits his
Yeah,
he
she
back
hits
ran
him in the
first.
well,
back.
yeah.
He hits him in like the
Hits
top of the
fucking
neck
back, yeah.
area, back area. Then that second one, clean. And you
Yep.
got Lord Jasper.
So,
Please
yeah.
tell my wife. Boop, head chopped off.
Yeah,
Clip.
yeah.
Yeah, Damon was just waiting.
Damon's like
And
wasting no time.
miss no time. Head on the ground. She's stepping in a pool of blood, and then she takes those steps up to the Iron
Oh,
Throne. Dude,
such
the
a great
bloody
shot.
The
footprints.
bloody
And then
footprints.
she
Oh,
sits down, and there's this sigh of like relief, like on you as a viewer, like, yes, we know this is not gonna probably last. Something's gonna end up happening, but
yeah,
she
you can tell.
belongs here in this moment right now. And then the doors open, and who comes strolling in and sees her father's head on the ground? It's
Yeah,
Alicent
the
of Rhaenyra,
city the
and
city watch got their hands on the queen.
they got
Yes.
hands on the queen, and she looks shell shocked. Helena just thinking about chickens, and Rhaenyra doesn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
And the scene ends. So first,
What
we'll
a spectacular way
No.
to end the episode.
spectacular
So
way to
fucking
end what
good.
should have been the
So
season
fucking
finale,
good.
but that's neither
The
here nor
the
there.
shot of her walking up the throne with like, her reflection is in Otto's pool of blood
Yeah.
was chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Just
So
such
sick.
great
So
directorial choice.
I'm gonna ask a question, and you can add it into your dissection on this final scene. What did you think Otto was going to say when he said, as he's getting his head chopped off, "I did my best," and there was a dot dot dot. Like, what do you think he was gonna say to her, like in that moment? Because I think he was trying to gonna say something genuine, but I don't know for sure. So first, tell me about the scene, what your thoughts were on the whole thing, and then that question that I just posed. Start with you, Joey.
Yeah, so my thoughts on the scene. First off, I found it a little odd that Rhaenyra was so hesitant to kill Otto
Yeah.
because of Otto is really the reason for, like, all the like, Otto is, like, the catalyst for a lot of the the bad things that have happened in Rhaenyra's life. Like, he was the main challenger to, her claim to the throne. So, on one hand, it kinda surprised me that she was so reluctant to kill him, but I also think there's probably a part of her that's like, this was a good friend of my dad's or, and I think she's also never, like, killed anybody, like, with a
That's a
sword
big thing
before,
too.
so I
Oh
think there
Yeah.
yeah,
was so there's probably some of that. But I did think how I was a little, like, struck confused by, like, I would have thought that she would be happy to kill Otto. Um, but I think it's also it's kind of the weight of this moment is kind
Mm.
of, like weighing her down in
Yeah.
a little bit, where
Everyone was
she's like
watching.
she's ready to take the throne. Like this is what it's been building towards for her for so long, but now that the moment's finally here, it's almost like she is struggling to take it, and that's when,
Yeah.
like, again, you have Damon kind of, giving her another pep talk in a way. It was kind of like, this is the moment you become queen. Because it's all
Oh
at the end of
yeah,
the
that was
day,
big.
it's all political theater.
Hmm.
Like she has to behead these people because she has to
Yeah.
show that it's a sense of legitimacy. She has to show that she's the queen, and she has to show that she's willing to rule. So this is all part of the ascension to the throne. But yeah, it's very it was it was it was a great scene, and you see how she, like, again, she walks up the throne, like, very slowly. It's like she's
Really just taking it in.
it's I don't yeah, but it's like
Can't
she's
believe
there's
it
this
almost. Like she
hesitate
can't believe what's actually happened.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's, like, this hesitation, like, she's just like, the moment is here, and I don't know, it was very, like, interesting to see, like, the way that they chose to do that. But then when Allison comes in, you see this look on Rhaenyra, like, she's got tears in her eyes. I think a part of her, I think, feels bad, like, for Allison in that moment, but it's also like, sorry, like, I had to do this,
Yeah. It was supposed
it
to be
was
Aegon, but you gave me Otto, so
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very interesting, it was a very, like, it was just really, it was, yeah, a lot of emotions. It was cool. It was great. That
yeah.
was it was awesome.
Scotty, thoughts on the last scene there?
Yeah, no, I feel like it was such a great scene to end on. You can really tell like how crazy it would have really been if not to harp on it again, but just to I can't even imagine season 2 ending like on that specific episode and that specific scene would have been fucking
It woulda
amazing.
hit
But
so hard.
oh
It
yeah,
woulda hit so
definitely.
hard.
Definitely. But no, I mean I think just Otto coming out and just the way Rhaenyra kind of drew her sword and Damon giving her the pep talk, like this is when you become queen, like you need to do this. And then her just struggling, going through all those emotions, I think it was portrayed very, very well. Um, and then eventually when she did it with she did it with Damon's sword. She actually took Damon's sword, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kills him with Damon's
And
sword.
then she she hit him in the back. I was like, oh fucking
Yeah,
Otto
she
was just
missed.
like, oh, and he was like
Yeah.
struggling and shit. And then he was just grunted, and then she just fucking sliced his head off. I was like, oh my god. And then no, I loved Damon just smiling, just smirking a little bit, takes his sword, just chops Jasper's head off. I was like, all right, fuck yeah. I was like, get on the Iron Throne. But no, I think the amount of emotions that were portrayed from the bloody footprints of Otto and then all the slow footsteps, like I feel like she went through like different emotions as like each step was taken. Even when she sat on the throne, like she felt like uneasy, but she felt very satisfied. And then she felt so many different types of emotions just from the first step up to the throne. And I think it was a great way to end the episode, especially when with Allison and Helena coming in. Allison seeing her fucking dad there with his head chopped off, looking up at Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra's just like, I mean, she obviously feels bad, but it's like, listen, you promised Rhaenyra Aegon. He wasn't there. He needed someone needed to answer, especially with the public eye being all there watching her, was waiting for her to do it, and they were all waiting there. But again, great episode, great scene. I mean, that was just peak television.
Amazing. Before we get into final questions, final thoughts, anything like that, Joseph, if you want to give us a little book rundown of kind of, anything in regards to what you had read in the book that was a little bit different, a little bit the same, anything of importance, non-importance, potato about Picasso, kick it off.
Yeah, so I mentioned some of them before, like I said earlier. In the book, they don't find Jace's body, so they don't have that
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. Also, like I said, the plan or the agreement that Allison Rhaenyra made is completely made up by the show. Um, Also, Otto's death. So in the book, it doesn't say that. It just like Otto's one of the first people to be executed, which rings true to the show, but it doesn't actually say in the book that it doesn't say like who specifically beheads him. It
Mhm.
doesn't.
Oh, okay.
It
Like a
doesn't say
casual
that.
comment.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah, Otto got
Yeah.
clipped. No, they
It
just
just
brush
Yeah,
just
over
says
it.
it. Auto
yeah, it
died.
just kind of says that he was executed.
Okay.
And the other thing that I noted was in the book, Sir Gawain actually dies in this exchange.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh.
Sir Gawain in the book is killed by the City Watch guy. What's his name again?
Luther, Sir
Luther.
Luther.
Sir
Yeah,
Luther,
Yeah.
yeah.
Luther. Yeah,
So he's
Gawain is.
not with Cole then at this moment then in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the kind of the siege of the Red Keep kind of plays out under different circumstances because in the book it says that um Alicent's not doing all this like peacemaking stuff. Like she's
Mm,
still like trying to resist. And then
gotcha.
Gawain basically like tells the City Watch like to 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 deal with this, and Luther says something similar along the lines of like, we recognize Damon as our Lord Commander, and then he kills Sir Gawain. Um,
Yeah.
Love
so
it.
yeah, those are the main differences I
Okay.
noted. But
Well, I have some
yeah,
questions, some things, quick things we can discuss, some final thoughts, and we can wrap it up.
Yep.
We'll start with two quick ones. Quick yes or no. Do you think Aegon's gonna make it to Rook's Rest? Scott.
yes,
I'll go with yes. Yeah, I'll
Yes.
definitely go with yes. I
Okay,
think he'll
yes.
reach
Okay. I
there.
was gonna say if no, then where? I think he will make it there also. Nice. I don't. I think it may not be just like, oh, he's just there. Something else may happen along the way, but I do think he's gonna make it there. Um, Another one. Do you think it was the right call for Rhaenyra to take Otto's head in the throne room? Like, do you think if yes,
yeah,
no worries. If you don't think so, where do you think? Like me, I'm almost surprised that she didn't make it more public. Like she didn't take his body
Oh,
out, kind
yeah,
of
you
like
can.
Ned Stark, and make it more
Yeah.
public. I don't know. Maybe again, it's in the moment. Like she's right then and there. There he is. I don't know if that's maybe better. But do you think that was the right call for her to do it right then and there? I heard. I think someone said yes already.
Yeah, I think we both said yes. I mean, I
Okay.
think there are people there. She was still like in the public view. There was I don't
Yeah,
know. There's
just
probably
true.
about like 20, 30, 40 people there. But I mean, it's a good point. I think doing
Going
it in a very public view, like sort of like Ned Stark would be, that would also really put it into the people at King's Landing that the Queen's here, she's taking a throne. But I think it was the right decision in the moment.
Gotcha. Gotta going to Aemond. Do we think he's dead? Yes or no? And thoughts on no, love it, didn't sink. No, I don't think he's dead either. What are your thoughts on him flying in solo? I know we brushed upon it, but like, do you think that was like, do you think it was more badass of him doing it, or more reckless of him to go in there by him? Even though Harrenhal's not some, obviously they don't know how I don't know how far all the men are from Harrenhal because he didn't sit there and just kill an entire army. Like it was like there was only a couple people that he really actually ended up killing, a couple
Yeah.
dozen. But do you think it was more of a badass or more reckless of him to fly in there solo like that? I think it was more reckless of him to do that. Personally, as badass as it was to do that, I think it was very reckless of him to go and put himself in harm's way like that.
well,
Joseph, what do you
he
think?
knows, but the whole plan was for him to fly there so Cole's host can go meet him, right? So I think he knows that Cole is coming, and I think he's also aware that the castle is not um overly defended.
Just fair, fair.
So, and as you see, like Vagar's easily able to just take everybody. Him and Vagar just easily take everyone out. So it didn't look like it was that heavily defended. So I don't know. I think like I said, I think there's a part of Aemon that's just kind of like gung ho. I have Vagar, so you can't fuck with me. Kind of arrogance to him.
Yeah, he's got
So
that
Definitely.
confidence.
yeah,
Scotty. I think
Yeah, I
Scott
mean,
did.
I think that he was kind of knowing that Cole was nearby. I think he was acting kind of like that spearhead of just flying into Harrenhal so they can just take it over. But I think it also raises another question, like what if the dragon seeds were there?
Mm.
I think that would definitely be an interesting take and to see how they would battle against each other. I don't know. I mean, that would be fucking sick. I mean, that would be really cool.
Love it. Love
well,
it.
Damon's probably gonna be pissed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
He's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Aemon just took Harrenhal when
yeah.
I,
He's
you know,
fucking so mad.
I told you three to wait for him, right?
Yeah,
So it's like the dragon seeds do kind of, you know, they fucked up in that
yeah.
sense.
That's a big ball drop.
Shifting to Allison and Rhaenyra, the big storyline at this very moment.
Yep.
Actually, one thing before I forget, we made some long-term predictions. Now, I don't know. Do you think Otto Hightower? I mean, Otto Hightower has got to be a main character. I know he hasn't really been in the show as much. None of us foresaw him being this character to die. We had obviously had our thoughts, so we'll keep our predictions. We'll put Otto in that gray area of like he's a main character, but he hasn't really been in it that much. Because I know from last episode, me and Joey were on Sir Gawain dying, which if it followed the books of Joseph, we probably would have been
Yeah,
correct.
I guess
And
I would have
Scott
been
said
right.
Adam of
Yeah,
Hall, so we're
would
gonna
have been
keep our
right.
long-term
Yeah.
predictions, keep it in the back of our minds of who we thought maybe that may be dying
Keep it in the
next.
back
Maybe
pocket.
see if our thoughts have maybe changed. We can circle back maybe. But in terms of Rhaenyra, this is a deep question, at least for me. How is Rhaenyra's grief changing her as a ruler? We've already started seeing her just she's changing as a human being, and she is clearly being affected by what is happening to not one but two children dying. Her and Damon are a chemical reaction. Like 1 second it's fine, and next thing you know, it's not okay. Her small council is always arguing with her. Her Queen's Guard are betraying her. Bela's betraying her. All this shit is going on, and now she's at the throne. How do you think the grief is changing her as a ruler? I'm sorry, you, Scott.
I mean, listen. I mean, grief definitely has a big change, especially on people who lead people like Rhaenyra, for example. And I think that the decision to take King's Landing, in this specific way, even though she succeeded, I think doing it in a way where she no longer has uh, the army that was a bunch of the boats and a lot of the army that was lost in the Battle of the Gullet. Um, I think that is a huge hit on Team Black, and I think choosing to not have those people with her or any additional people that they could have brought with those boats. Um, I think grief has changed her in a way where she wants to just take King's Landing as fast as possible, and I think that in the near future is going to have a huge effect, huge effect on her being a ruler and her current reign as the queen of the kingdom.
Joseph?
Yeah, I think Jace's death in particular is gonna really harden her. Where I feel like she's gonna be a lot more ruthless
Yeah,
and jaded and, you know, very much like I said, I think and like I mentioned earlier, I think she has that sort of uh divine right kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, but I think it's gonna make her at least try to rule with a little bit more of an iron fist, which I think will be interesting to see how the other lords or the people kind of it'll be interesting to see how they receive her as the new queen.
yeah,
For
yeah.
now, at least, because
For
like,
now.
you know, Aegon and Aemond are still out there, so
Yep.
there's a lot of
Awesome.
players on the board still.
Yes.
I have one last question. Then we can do final thoughts and be done, my friends. Um, I'm gonna kind of I'll say the question and I will kind of say what my thoughts are on this and a little side thing. What do you think is going to happen with Allison and Vernier moving forward after what has just transpired? So we have Allison opens the gates, does all these things. Now Rhaenyra doesn't know the lengths that Allison has gone to make this possible without it being bloody. Because let's be honest, if they fought back, even with the 4 dragons, they would have probably killed everybody. For the most part, they would have probably killed everybody there in King's Landing if they really needed to take King's Landing. But they didn't need to do that. Obviously, with Otto losing his head, that's going to put a massive strain, and it's going to be a massive setback on their whatever their relationship is. You know, they were best friends and not, and best friends and not, and you married my dad and took my throne, and blah blah blah. All these things, right? In terms of Rhaenyra, like it's almost like we're seeing like a fast evolution of like Daenerys, right? Obviously, Daenerys never made it to the actual throne. She got to stand in front of it, but she never got to sat in and rule, right? But Daenerys started as someone with mercy, right? And she didn't want to see blood, but she was not afraid to do it though. And Rhaenyra was kind of the same way to start off. You know, when the war first started, she showed so much restraint, right? She waited until it was the very last thing that she could do to actually have a battle take place in bloodshed, right? And now we've seen these things happen to her, just like we saw things happen to Daenerys. Daenerys lost people like through the show, and things happen, and she ended up the way that she was. You know, she went from saving people's life and being merciful, and she's burning Sam's freaking dad and brother alive, right? And it kind of spirals out of control, and we're almost like Rhaenyra's not there, obviously, but like you've seen it already where she's gone from thinking about it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, like, what should I do? Should I do this? I don't want there to be a battle. Now she's fucking chopping people's heads off with her own fucking her own hands, right? She's doing it herself. So I'm intrigued to see the way she reacts. Does she kind of scale back and think about what she did? Does she kind of continue down this like warpath of just like this is my, like you said, divine right. This is my throne. I'm doing whatever it takes. That's where Daenerys reached, right? Daenerys, it started with, I want to take the throne peacefully because it's mine and yada yada yada, and then it became, I'm taking this at any cost. I will kill anybody that I need to kill, no matter what it takes. And Rhaenyra started going down that path. So, what do you guys think is going to happen with Alicent and Rhaenyra going forward? More specifically, with Rhaenyra after what has transpired, now that she has the Iron Throne and she's lost her heir, her oldest son. Start with you, Joseph.
Well, yeah, like I said before, I think Rhaenyra is definitely gonna be more bliss. As far as her and Alicent, that's gonna be interesting to see. You know, I don't really know what to make of that. I would assume that I think Rhaenyra will keep her end of the bargain and spare Alicent. So I don't think she's gonna have Alicent executed or anything, or Helena executed. But I would be curious to know, to see, what, I guess, what they're kind of gonna do with Alicent and Helena. Um, Maybe keep them hostage. Um,
You think
you know,
hostage situation, huh?
I think, yeah, I think they'll probably just keep them as hostages.
To draw Aegon in?
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
some
maybe.
bargaining chips.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
What do you think they're gonna do then? You think they're
I
just
think
gonna let
she's.
them go?
I do.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly,
You know why though?
though.
Because that was the deal. Well, you know what? Let me backtrack. Because the deal was to have Aegon.
Well, the
Yes.
deal
The
was
deal
also to
was
have
it was
Aegon.
to have
Yeah.
Aegon. So maybe I don't think she's just gonna let them go per se, but I don't think that they're gonna be held prisoner though. I don't know why. I especially at least not Helena.
I don't know if they're gonna be
Maybe
thrown in
Allison.
jail cell. I think they might just be under house arrest or
Well, which
something
could be the
in the
case.
Yeah, I
Red
think
Keep.
house arrest
Because
is a better
she's
word
got no
for it.
beef with Helena though. Like Helena, she knows is a good person. I don't think that
She's
she's
chill.
gonna.
She just wants some chickens.
And she is the queen too, so she just wants fucking chickens.
Yeah,
Scott,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sorry.
it's more I think it would be more beneficial for Team Black
It would
to
be.
keep them
It
as
would be. You're right.
hostages. That's what I think they'll end up doing, but who knows? I honestly I don't it'll be interesting to see Allison, like, kinda what her role is going forward now.
Yeah, I think it's hard to kind of comprehend and kind of see in the future how that relationship's going to be affected. I mean, like no matter what, Allison walked in on her dad's head chopped off. I mean, with anyone seeing that, it's going to be hard to maintain a relationship with anybody who would do that to your father. Um, but in the end, like he promised Aegon, and he wasn't there. They needed someone to prove a point that the queen is here. And Otto was unfortunately that guy. He fucking deserved it anyway. But um, I think the relationship going forward is going to be very awkward. I think it is going to be some sort of house arrest, bargaining chip sort of deal. I don't think they would off with their heads or let them go or put them in a dungeon or anything like that. I think it will be some sort of house arrest situation, and how the relationship's going to be in the future is going to be very very awkward. I'm really not sure, honestly.
Well, do you guys have any questions you want to ask? Any thoughts of any kind? Before we go into maybe like any kind of like what we think the look
I
ahead,
think,
maybe.
I think I'm excited for the next episode. I
Oh, me
think,
too.
we pretty much covered everything, and I think, hot start to the season,
Hot
so we'll
start.
see
Yeah.
how it continues to shape out going
Oh,
forward.
definitely.
Be
What do you
fun.
guys intrigue? Like, if you had to pick one like sub storyline into this show right now, like that you're intrigued to find out what is gonna happen, what would it be? Like one, like would it be a character, just a little section of this whole thing that's going on right now? Like, what would it be, Scott?
Honestly, low key, I kind of want to see what Alice is up to.
The
I'm
witch?
very,
Or
very curious of what that mysterious woman is up
yeah,
to, why she wants Harren Hall. All these different questions that surround her. I think I'm really interested to see where that kind of sub story is going to go, especially with Aemond leaking right now and right in front of her, and how she's going to use that to her advantage. But I would think Alice's sub story I think is pretty interesting. So I'm interested to see what she's going to
Joseph.
do.
Uh, that's a good one. I'm interested in Aegon right now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested to see kinda, how if Aegon's gonna make a comeback story, um, and also, how I would love to see. I don't know if this is gonna if they're gonna if it's gonna happen, but I would love to see, like, a reunion of Aegon and Aemond, especially all that has transpired
That
between
would
them.
be
But yeah,
crazy.
I'm very interested to see Aegon's sort of arc for the rest of this season.
Interesting. Okay. For me, I'm intrigued. Damon and Rhaenyra together, just they always intrigue me because just like you never know what you're gonna get with those two. Like if they're gonna be good together or they're gonna be fighting and stuff. So I'm excited to see what's gonna go on with those two. Now that they have the throne. Again, I know we keep saying it. With Damon, like, hey, he sounds like he's committed to her and stuff, and like like, maybe it's just my fucked up mind, but, like, when she was, like, starting to walk up to the throne for the no, when they first opened the throne room door, right, before they saw Rickard,
Mhm.
I was saying to myself, I was like, "Imagine if Damon just fucking slit fucking her throat right now and just took the throne for himself." Like, could you
My
imagine if
God,
something out of
that'd
nowhere
be
just
fucking
happened? Like, I
crazy.
couldn't help but think of, like, could you imagine if that happened? Like, he just does a 180 and just kills her, takes the throne for himself.
Yeah, that's just like
That
a
would be like
what if scenario.
yeah, that would be like, that would be like Jaime leaving Cersei and then 3 episodes later going back to her.
Yeah,
It would make no sense is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
I get what you're
yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Great, great
Oh my
end. Great end to
God.
that show. That's a still start for another day, though. Any other final thoughts of any kind before we wrap it up?
I mean, that was a great podcast, boys. I'm
Yeah,
very,
It was
yeah, I
fun.
think very excited for episode 3 and the rest of the season. It's
all
gonna be
right.
great. I got a feeling.
Boys, it was a pleasure discussing this second episode here, House of Dragon Season 3. looking forward to the next episode. For next week here on Sunday. Hopefully, we'll be able to watch it nice and on time together. The three of us. We'll see how it goes. Anything to say before we depart?
Peace out, potatoes.
Yeah.
Peace
Peace out.
potatoes.
House
See you guys later.
potatoes.
Until next week.